Welcome! Today I'm going to teach you one of the fundamental stitches in all of crochet, the double crochet. Now this is the second video in a series I'm calling Crochet Fundamentals. If you haven't already seen my step-by-step stitch tutorial for crocheting the single crochet, click on the link up here in the upper right hand corner and check that out at your leisure. Now very first, it's very important to know I use US terminology for all of my videos. This main alternative for US terminology is UK terminology. Now in UK terms, the term I'm using today, double crochet, refers to a completely different stitch than what we're learning today. Now what I'm going to teach you is the double crochet according to US terminology. Now the double crochet looks something a little bit like this. This is just a little swatch I worked up. The double crochet can be used on its own just like this, or it can be used in combination with other stitches to make more advanced stitches. But on its own, it's great for beginner-friendly patterns. It makes clothing and blankets very nicely because it has a more open and airy texture compared to some other stitches. Now today I'm going to be using some of this Mainstay blue yarn. You can get this from Walmart. Total honesty, it is not the best quality of yarn, but it is great for learning stitches and experimenting as well. I also have this Boye Ergonomic crochet hook. This is US size H or a 5mm crochet hook. This is one of my staples. I stick by these hooks. They are amazing. Now that we've talked about everything we'll see in today's video, let's get started. First step in doing the double crochet, like any crochet stitch, is we need to have a slip knot. There are tons of different ways to do a slip knot. I'm just going to teach you the way that I personally like to do it. So I'll take my yarn and I'm going to bring it up and over the index finger of my non-dominant hand. Then pinch the short end in between my middle finger and my thumb. So again, the short end between middle finger and thumb. The long end is then going to go up and over my index finger from right to left, front to back, down and into my palm where I am keeping tension and keeping hold with my pinky finger right here. Again, pinching between these two, up and over my index finger, down into my palm where it's held by the pinky. I'm going to take my index finger of my dominant hand, I'm going to bring it behind, I'm going to swivel downwards, just like so. And now I have a loop on my finger. I'm going to take the long end of my yarn and bring it through the loop I just made. Perfect. You can tell that you've achieved a slip knot because if you pull it just like this, it unravels itself like magic. One more time, short end between my middle finger and thumb, long end going up and over my index finger into my palm and being held by my pinky finger. Bring my index finger of my dominant hand behind. I'm going to swivel downward to create a loop on my finger. Then I'll pull the long end through that loop I just made. Perfect. Now grab your crochet hook, insert the hook through the loop you just made, through that slip knot, and fasten it down. It's important not to fasten this down too far. You should be able to maneuver your hook around freely in this loop without being restricted. Now, before we can double crochet, we need a foundation chain, so we have something to double crochet into. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hook to the left, to the back, to the right, to the front. And this creates a yarn over. You can tell it's a yarn over because the yarn is literally going over my hook, just like this. So again, left, back, right, front. So I have yarn running over my hook. I'm going to pull that yarn using the hook through the loop I just made, through that slip knot. Perfect. Now that is one chain. You can tell it's a completed chain because you can see the loop all the way around right here. Now let's do that again. And you can do this step as boxy as you would like for starting out or as fluid as you like. It's really up to you. We're going to start left, right. So now we have that yarn over our hook and pull it through. I'm going to do this just a couple more times just for my peeps that are less familiar with the art of crochet. Now I have this little length of chain. Now, in order to double crochet, now that I have my chain, the first thing I need to do is yarn over. So just as if I was going to be doing another chain, I'm bringing the yarn over my hook. instead of pulling through, I'm going to insert my hook right here through the 4th chain from my hook. So this little loop that's actively over my hook does not count as a completed chain. So we'll count backward. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I divide. This is the 4th chain from my hook. So again, this little guy doesn't count. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I'm going to insert my hook through that 4th chain from the hook, just like so. Then I'm going to yarn over on this side and pull that loop I just made through to the front. I should now have 3 loops on my hook. 1, 2, 3. Now let's yarn over again and pull through both of those loops. You should now have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over one more time and pull through the last 2 loops. So you should have 1 loop left on your hook and 1 completed double crochet right here. Now let's do that again. Now I'm going to go ahead and double crochet into the next stitch. So this little hole right here is already occupied by a stitch, so I'll go into this guy. So yarn over, insert my hook, yarn over, pull this through to the front. I should now have 3, you can count them, 1, 2, 3 loops on my hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Fantastic! We have now together done 2 double crochets, which is fantastic. I'm going to do some more all the way across, nice and slow for my peeps that are still new to crochet. And this is my double crochet. I use double crochet most probably in blankets, Afghans, and also in clothing items. So I love making hats with double crochet, as well as when I've made sweaters, I usually do that with double crochet as well. So now that I've gotten to the very end, I've used up all of my chain spaces. What do I do next? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to chain 3. So just like before at the very beginning when we were chaining, we're going to bring our hook to the left, then to the right, going around so we have the yarn over our hook, and pull through. So that is 1 chain. We're going to do that 2 more times. Fantastic. Now we're going to turn our work around. Amazing. So now we have this chain 3 right here. Then we've got the first row of double crochets. Now if you look at the very top of all of our stitches from the previous row, you can see that we have all of these V's that run all the way up. Each one of these V's is the top to a stitch. You can see our chains also make those V's. So we are going to work our stitch. Instead of going through a chain, we're going to go through the V, through both legs of the V of the last stitch I made of the previous round. So I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to identify these are my 3 chains. We're not going to work in them. This right there is then the hole I'm going to be working through. I'll insert my hook through both loops of that so you can still see the V on my hook. Yarn over, pull through to the front. We should have 3 loops. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, pull through 2. We should have 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2. Perfect. Now let's do this again. I'm going to yarn over. I can identify that this is the next stitch I want to insert my hook into. This is the next V. And you can look this way as well. This hole is occupied, so we need to go into this one. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, and pull that through to the front. So this right here is 3 loops on my hook, or these are 3 loops on my hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2. That should leave 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the last 2. Bam, and that is a finished double crochet. Now I'm going to do that all the way across. Then I will show you an example of chaining 3 and turning 1 more time as soon as I get to the end of this row. I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. I'll turn my work. I'm going to yarn over and work not into any of these 3 chains, but into this first hole. And that is the top of a double crochet from the previous round. So again, if we look at the top, we see all these little V's. We're going to insert the hook through both legs of that V. Perfect. Yarn over, pull through. I should now have 3 loops on my hook. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, pull through 2. That leaves me with 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've learned something from this video, or enjoyed this video, or just want to support my channel, please give this video a big thumbs up. While you're at it, please consider subscribing. Hit the bell icon down here in the bottom right hand corner to be notified every time I publish a new video. I have a new video for a step-by-step stitch tutorial just like this, or a beginner-friendly pattern where you can practice what you've learned every single weekend. Till then, thank you and ta-ta for now.